Guys, what is going on? Welcome to BMX Streets. This video is going to be, kind of like a getting started / how to play BMX Streets. Give you a little tour of the title screen. If you use your right and left trigger, you can actually speed up and reverse these fancy BMX animations here. We press Y, we can see patch notes. This is going to tell us what the newest update has brought to the world of BMX Streets when the game does get updated. Close that and we can press X and see the credits. These are all the wonderful human beings that have made this game possible for us to play. But yeah, new game. We're going to go ahead and start it up and play. Let's go, guys. BMX Streets, dude. Come on. All right, before we go any further, we actually just really quickly need to run through the menus in this game. The first menu you're going to want to get familiar with is the quick menu. So press left on the D-pad, and this is going to give you access to your replay, swapping between your different bike presets. We've got the map here. So once you get around the world, you can fast travel to different spots on the map. Also, take a look at the map so you can kind of get an idea for what you got to look forward to. Below the map is the time of day. So if you wanted to go ahead and ride at sunset, sunrise, you could ride in the middle of the night if you wanted to. And actually, real quick, if you put it to nighttime and then press right on your D-pad once you're out of the menu, you got a flashlight. So you can ride around at night and see where you're going. Below time of day is your stats. So this is going to tell you your total bar spins, total tail whips. There's a bunch of player stats in here. This is where I get exposed for how much I've played, at least this current build of the game. You guys got to let me know if you can beat my record speed while riding the BMX. We reached 786 kilometers an hour. Below stats is settings. So this is where you can change your video settings. We've got audio settings. If you go into a multiplayer lobbies, there is proximity chat. So you can adjust your voice chat settings, your mic input. We got video settings. Gameplay settings, this is where you're going to find like turning your HUD off and on, grind, spin assist. Go ahead and turn that off. You get on your bike and you adjust these settings, you can actually see the camera move around. So you got camera distance and camera offset, which will move it left to right. This is also where you can toggle first person. And then you also have an FOV slider here for first person. And then this is also where you can change your stance between, you can change your stance between left foot and right foot forward. It's in the gameplay setting for now. I'm sure in the future we will have an input to just do that while you're on the bike, but for right now it's in these settings. And then lastly is filters. We've got a bunch of in-game filters, so you can really customize the way the game looks for you, and then you can adjust the strength of it to either be a little bit more intense or a little less intense. Depth of field. So you can adjust the depth of field if you wanted to play with that. I don't really play with it on, but if you do play with it on, I kind of like anywhere from 30 to 40%. So it's kind of just stuff off in the distance that's out of focus. Below that is your network. So you could go ahead and connect to a server. Once you're connected, you could either create your own session, join a random one, join a session with a code. So if you have a friend that has created a session and made it private, you could get the code from them and join with a code right there. Go to the right, you can see your friends that are online potentially. And then if you're in a session, you go over to session and you will see everybody in the session you're playing with. Next, press start and we're going to get into the actual menu. System is basically all the same settings that we just had. The only difference is we can access the title screen, quit the game, start a completely new game, or change the language. We've got character. This is where you will see all the characters that you have to unlock. I'm actually filming this after I've recorded this video, so at least when you go through what I've done in this video, you will have Sean Rickenny, Bruno Hoffman, you'll have Darian, the guy from Pipe, and Maxime. Next is customize. This is where you'll be able to customize your BMX bike. Right here is the drift trike, but you don't unlock that till 100 stars. I do actually go through this a little bit later in the video, so we're not going to go through this, but that is where you customize your BMX bike. At this point in the game, if you're where I'm at, you're not going to have any parts, but by the end of this video, as you can see, you will have some parts to customize your bike and get some different looking bikes. Next is progress. This is where you're going to be able to see how much of the game you've completed So yeah, as you can see in this video, we kind of touch on everything except for drift races, but we'll do that in the next video for sure. But yeah, this is where you can see how much progress you've made in each of the different categories. If we go to challenges, you can see all the different challenges that you have done. This is actually really helpful if there's challenges that you haven't fully completed and you want to go back to. You can actually just click on them and you can fast travel right to that challenge and get right into it. You can also see your achievements in here. We got guide. That's pretty self-explanatory if you're ever wondering how you do some specific tricks, some grinds, general movements on the bike. Maps is going to be where your mod maps go. At the moment of at least me making this video, mod.io is not built into the game. It will be. It previously was, but is broken at the moment, so once it's fixed, it will be back in the game, and then this is where all the mod maps will be that you download from mod.io, or you could just go to the mod.io website and download the maps and drag them into the maps folder. For BMX Streets, you just have to go to your documents, and there'll be a BMX Streets documents folder, and in there you'll find a maps folder, and that's just where you drag and drop the maps. All right, guys, we are in game. We got some rider tips on the right here. It's going to summon your bike, get on your bike, place a session marker, and then reset to that marker. Then you're going to want to beeline it to this very first tutorial mission, which is baby steps.
Let's start with some basics: pedaling, sprinting, turning, and braking. You got this.
Yeah, so this is pretty self-explanatory. You're just learning how to pedal, how to steer, how to brake. For some of these tutorials, like later on we learn how to spin and flip. I do try to give some tips that the game maybe doesn't exactly give you to make things a little bit easier for you guys. But yeah, we're gonna finish that guy right there. Oh yeah, killed it. Let's go. Easy tutorial. Unlocked a rim, a frame, some handlebars, some spokes, another frame, and a front hub. All right, right after that, you're going to want to turn right around, and you're going to find this Mashes On box. These boxes are littered all over the map and just have free parts in them. If you played Pipe, you could probably go straight to Send the Serpent, which is right beside that first tutorial level. If you're completely new to this game, I would honestly play through all the tutorial stuff before you do any other mission. But I mean, if you played Pipe quite a bit, you could probably just start going at some missions. And in this one, you can kind of see there's a basic, an AM, a pro, and legendary level. In order to get legendary, you have to do all three basic, AM, and pro challenges at the same time. And with each level, you get a star, which goes towards unlocking your character. And I mean, here, look, we've got another box. These boxes are all over the map. I try to show as many as I can in here. And that race over there, I would not suggest trying that race right now. We'll come back to that race. So the next thing you're going to want to do is just get as much speed as you can and hit this little gap right here. This is the first hidden gap in the game, or secret gap. I can't remember what they're called. Anywhere on the map where you see this arrow right here, as you can see, it's green now because I've completed it. But if you see that arrow on the map anywhere, go ahead and look for a big X, and that's a hidden gap. That's the first one you're going to see in game, and it's definitely the easiest one in game. Like I was saying, these boxes are everywhere. There's even one hiding up there. I'll show you how to get that one later, but we got to learn how to hop next.
All right, now that we know how to run, time to learn how to jump. Let's get some hops.
All right, so yeah, I mean, if you played Pipe, it's the exact same. If not, you know, you're just looking down on the stick, looking up, pulling down on the stick and flipping up. As you can see, you can kind of do whatever you want through this tutorial as long as you're hopping up these sections. We're going to go ahead and hit a nice little flip tuck no hander, and I think I did a 720 bar spin right here. Yeah, okay. Straight into this little wall whip bar. And then, yeah, we're reaching the finish right here. Big 900 toe whip into the finish. And then, yeah, right beside that landing, there's another box, which gets you some free parts. And then, yeah, if we just come right over here, guys, I'm not kidding. The map is absolutely littered with these boxes. They're everywhere. So we got another one right over here. Anyways, if we walk up those stairs, we got a grinding tutorial.
All right, rise and grind, people. Let's get on some rails.
All right, this is where I would suggest deciding whether or not you want to use grind spin assist. I'd say if you're a pipe player, you could probably go ahead and turn this off. If you're new to the game, maybe leave it on. Basically, all this does is when you're spinning into a grind, the game will help you get into a grind. I turn it off because it actually opens up a lot of options. And I would suggest turning it off for like the best experience and to have the most options, but it's totally up to you. If you're really struggling to spin into grinds, like I'm definitely about to right here, then maybe leave it on. Yeah, I really struggled in this part, but it's all right because you could throw your bike when you get angry. I love how I absolutely just laced one of the sickest ledge combos you could ever pull in real life, and then just absolutely die just trying to feeble a flat ledge. Anyways, we know how to grind. We're gonna move on. We're gonna come down here. I didn't actually go over to this, but to the right there, that's a fast travel location. You should definitely go get that before doing the other tutorial stuff. Yeah, I would go left to right with these tutorials.
Tricking in BMX streets ain't about button mashing. It's about control.
We're gonna learn how to bar spin a whip. If you played pipe, it's the exact same controls. But the game does a good job explaining how to do some of these tricks.
Spinning's dead simple. Bet you already figured it out yourself.
All right, next is spinning. Yeah, you basically just turn left or right with the left stick when you're in the air. If you pull down on the right stick, you will actually spin faster. And if you use slow motion while pulling down on the right stick, you'll spin even faster.
Once you get the hang of it, flipping is easy. You're gonna want to do it everywhere.
So yeah, flipping's pretty good. I think I hit a double flip here and then like a flip 7. If you pull the stick like halfway back, you can get some really slow, natural-looking flips, or you could just pull it all the way back and just let it go immediately to get a slow flip. We've got a race here, but again, I'm not going to suggest doing any races until we get all the tutorials done. Bomb, I mean, this one's pretty easy. You could probably go straight to this. This is just to the left of the tutorials that we just completed there, just down the hill a little bit and to the left. But yeah, this is kind of like a Tony Hawk style mission. It's pretty fun. There's a couple of these in the game. Just got to get points, get familiar with some of the tricks here, figure out how to tweak the tricks potentially in this section here. That right there, the game does not teach you how to do, how to fly out of a quarter pipe. So we just learned left trigger is how you activate flips. If you want to fly out of a quarter pipe, you actually have to hold down the right trigger. So holding down the right trigger will help you fly out of a quarter pipe. And if you wanted to do something like coping grinds, you have to hold the right bumper as you're hopping out of the transition. But yeah, absolutely laced that challenge. And directly ahead of that one is another one that I think is fairly easy. And again, if you played pipe, you could probably get this one done. To get it fully completed, you have to do a perfectly tweaked trick. So when you do something like a toboggan, when you do the input and scoop your stick around, you'll tweak it. So when you do the trick and tweak it all in one motion, that's how you get a perfect tweak. It'll also tell you it's a perfect tweak down in the HUD. But this right here is the most important tutorial.
Pumping is a huge part of how you generate speed on your bike. And more speed is more fun. So let's pump it up. To pump, hold the right stick down, then push the left stick up and down. Pump down on flats and up through transitions, like this one. That's down on flats and up through transitions. Down on flats and up through transitions.
So this is the main reason I haven't suggested doing any races, is because without knowing how to pump, the races are extremely difficult. So definitely get familiar with pumping. And then right behind that pumping tutorial, if you come up here, look, we got another box to grab some free parts in it. Get a fast little nose bond 3 on that quarter. We could do a ski tour here. Just gotta get some points. points here. We had to do 2 backflips, I believe. I think this mission's fairly easy. A lot of these I'm kind of lacing first try, but I have definitely done these before, so if it's taking you a while to get through some of them, don't worry. This game has definitely got, I feel like, a kind of a steep learning curve, especially if you're completely new. Again, another box at the bottom once you finish that challenge. And there's actually another box right up there that we gotta go grab. Yeah, if you make it up here, you can run right over to this little sitting area and get some more free parts. All right, right to the left of this is probably the first race I would suggest doing, especially now that we know how to pump. And you could start there if you wanted. It is possible to fully complete this mission there, but I always just kind of run up here and get a little bit of extra speed in the start. And yeah, you're going to be wanting to pump up and down through all these transitions. This race is a little tough, but that one that we saw at the very beginning, I think is a lot more difficult. That's why I'm kind of suggesting maybe you start with this one. Yeah, we got to flow through these. We got 9 gates left. We have 100 points to get, so we just got to throw a trick in here somewhere, which I think I do. I think I do it right here, actually. Yeah, just a little bar whip bar. This gap is a little difficult, and we're kind of seeing the final area of the spillway, which if you played Skate 3, this area is going to look extremely familiar to you. So yeah, after that, I would go back to your map and go back to the very top, and then I think you're probably ready for the, I believe it's called the Richard's Bowl pump track. But before we get into that, now that we have some bike parts, we're actually going to customize our bike. We're going to go into our build here. There's a randomize button, so you can just kind of randomize one of your builds if you wanted to. But yeah, lots of options for customizing your bike. As you can see, we've got a couple things unlocked in each category just from what we've done so far. And then something pretty interesting you'll see. In some of the categories, you'll actually see equip slot when you're on the product. So for tires, grips, bar ends, stem bolts, spokes, there's a lot of things where you can have, you know, different spokes on the front, from the back, different grips on each side. Below where you change your parts is the configure settings, so you can adjust your bar angle, your seat height, the angle of your seat, your tire width, a whole bunch of good stuff. And now at this point, you've actually probably got a couple characters. So we're going to switch to Darian, who's the guy from Pipe. It wasn't me, it was Darian. And then yeah, we can actually switch through our bike builds now, which is pretty sick. All right, so I think you're probably ready for Richard Bowl pump track. You're about to see me absolutely one-shot this on my first attempt. This was a damn miracle. I have played this a lot, but I think this is probably one of the more difficult challenges in this game. Maybe not the most difficult, but as far as races go, considering it's at the very beginning of the game, I think it's pretty hard. So yeah, we had to get, I think it was 500 points, finish with 1.2 seconds left. We had 1.88. And there you go, and you can even see there we had one attempt and one complete. That's probably the biggest flex I got in the game at the moment. All right, now to get this box. It's actually pretty easy. I'll show you here real quick. Gonna want to get some speed here, and then we're gonna want to hit a wall ride and then exit our bike once we're over the pipe. You just get off, and then yeah, we can just climb up here and traverse over these rocks, and yeah, go get this box. Do some flumping to get down there. some scuffed flumping where you don't actually land your flips. But yeah, free parts. Let's go. Right where we did the grind tutorial too. If you come right around that little building there, what do you know? There's another box to grab. It's actually kind of hilarious how many of these boxes there are and just how littered the map is with them. You can pretty much just come right to this fence, jump over, and then hit this little bank. And can you guess what's on the other side of this bank, guys? I'll give you a second. Take a guess. Oh, you may have guessed it. Another box with free parts. We've got another Richard Bull race right here. We'll go ahead and do this one. I think I did this one first try too. This one's nowhere near as hard as the first one, in my opinion. You can even just tell, like, I ride through this a lot slower than I did that first one. But knowing how to pump is going to be extremely useful here. Pumping around the corners. And right here, I kind of actually mess up. If you hold the pump at the top of transition, you'll actually just ride out. But I actually hopped, so it pulled me over to the side, so that's why we had to eject. And here I am, finally, at the very end of the video, coming back to this fast travel location. So you'll find these around the map, and once you collect them, you can go into your map, like I'm about to show you. And you will unlock a little pin to fast travel back to that area. Alright, we can come do floater now. You should be ready for floater. This one's, again, I think this is for sure easier than the first Richard Bull pump track one we did, but rip a little turn down, a little bar T-bog. See, I think I hold the pump right here. Yeah, we barely air over that. Little bar whip action into a pegs. I don't know what actually happens right here. I like pumped and hop and got like a little speed boost. That's actually the first time I'd ever noticed that, but yeah, just gonna fly right down through here. And yeah, this is the last challenge I did. And I mean, at this point, you've basically almost completed all of the challenges in the spillway. So in the next video, we'll come back and 100% all of the challenges in the spillway. And yeah, anyways, guys, I hope the video was helpful. If it was, leave a like, subscribe. And yeah, we'll be seeing you guys in the next one. We'll be trying to help you guys out with all these challenges in BMX Streets.